Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
We've got Super Mika Teta. I'll stop this song from singing instead. Our viewers have gone through enough already to listen to me singing that song.
This season has been going on well. Let's not disturb them with us singing.
But it's a catchy one to start with, especially the whole part of like Kieran at the back, Gabby in attack. I was going like, yes. But welcome to another episode of the Gooners podcast. We've got Arun back with us. Hi, Arun.
Hello.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, mate. How you going?
So this is the episode where we are going to talk about how we could celebrate more and irritate everyone else in the English media as much as possible. but okay, I thought we would start with the review for the game, but this just dropped into this zone to talk about the celebration, right? Why is this pissing off so many people so much?
Because it's Arsenal.
Yeah. The simple answer is that they know that we're doing well and there's a possibility that we could actually come back to where we were before. People are not ready for that. If you look at the ones who are moaning about all these celebrations and all those sort of things, it's either the players who have lost against us or the ones who may potentially be replaced by us in the top four. I'm talking about United pundits and ex-United players as such, So they are the ones moaning, crying out the most in terms of all these, us celebrating after every game and all those sort of things. I don't understand this whole thing in the first place. And there's been nothing said to us that, you could just celebrate only at the 30th game of every season and depending upon where you are.
See, also, like if we go by the definitions that these people are giving, that celebrations for achieving something or something, then in the whole season only like two teams can celebrate, like the team that wins the championship and the team that escapes the relegation. Those are the only two teams that could celebrate throughout the league. What is the whole point of watching a sport if you're not going to celebrate when your team does well?
I think it's just that they're trying to seek more attention for them, and they're diverting from the larger issue is the fact that whatever teams that they're talking about are being shit in first place, and as well as the fact that they can't stand the fact that Arsenal is actually performing better than what they had in mind at the start of it. In fact, yeah.
Yeah, no, Arun, remind me who Gabby what's his name?
Agbon Lahore. Gabby Agbon Lahore played for Aston Villa when we were kids. And then he played for Aston Villa and that's it. That's his life. That's his career. Not that we have done anything better to say anything about it, but the club that we support, which is Arsenal, is way bigger than Gabby Agbon Lahore. So it's like we spoke, it's the people who have some issue against us or are people who feel that we could possibly take their place in the top four. The problem is it's not just these people who are not ready to believe or accept it. It's even we have our own former players, like Kieran is not ready to trust that we are going to be there. Merce is not ready. So if we do not have enough people from our side supporting us, sort of talking about the cause, it's much easier for the others to be the naysayers and not support us and talk about shit like this.
True. I'm not even worried about whether we are going to reach there, whether this means something, whether it's pointing to somewhere. It's just a celebration, right? A win.
It's simple. It's simple. Any team, irrespective of who they play, whether it's home or away, whether it's like a smaller team or a bigger team, you are allowed to celebrate. That's what the game is all about. You celebrate whatever, whenever you want. You celebrate however you win. You win easily. You celebrate. You win in a very difficult manner. You celebrate. Even 1 point, when you're drawing a game, that 1 point could be of huge significance, and you celebrate that. I mean, there is no rules or restrictions that should be imposed on how people celebrate or what they do. It's just like, like you are just salty. That's all I can say. Like, you're just being salty. If you're not like, if you're going to criticize the way in which these players are celebrating, just continue criticizing. Like, keep your hate. Your hate is getting stronger. So keep pouring in the hate. That's what I would say.
But the good news is, Bob, that it's a 3-point.
Yes.
3-point over Aston Villa, and going into the break with that 3-point is actually a really good thing. Imagine if, for example, if we would have lost that game and went into the break with 2 losses, Arsenal fan would have melted down the whole internet.
Cut that out.
but 3-point at this point in the season is more than welcome. And to go back to the start of the game, I was really surprised to not have Aaron Ramsdale in the starting lineup, which was a late news that came out that he's unwell and
No, I think he's got an injury with his hip. I'm not sure how or when that happened.
During the previous game, Arteta had mentioned that it happened during the pool game. So for the last 50 to 60 minutes of the Liverpool game, he was carrying that injury, which could have possibly impacted the way in which he let the goal in. But that's another game, another review, which is already been done.
Yeah, but to start the game, Bob, to start the game with Leno, how comfortable were you with that option?
I was having jitters all over. To be very fair, because I think the immediate next thing that came into my head when I saw Leno's name on the team sheet is that first game against Brentford. If you look back, and then the first goal that we conceded, Leno, as much as a good showstopper that he is, I mean, he sort of is not confident across. And Ramsdale, although he's been good, there's been of late that you can see some sort of sloppiness in him in the last few games as well, if you had noticed. But even with that, he sort of gives you more confidence than what Leno gives you overall with his body language and then the way that he does on the pitch. So I was certainly not really up for Leno to be on the starting 11, but that's how it was. And then one thing that I stopped myself from doing is I didn't watch the game. Rather, I followed the commentary because it would have been too hot in the mouth situation for the entire 90 minutes had I watched Leno play the game. Much to my surprise, he played really well. And then you mentioned about the fact that we came with 3 points. We would have been even again on a meltdown had we just grabbed a point. And it was all.
I was actually,
yeah, it was completely up to Leno to get those extra 2 points for us that day, because that's save, in the last second of the game was stunning. Seriously, it was a full bloody save, and he just outstretched himself to get to where the ball was actually heading in. Mind you, it was a very tough angle as well, from that corner there. He didn't really have a clean view, and for him to do that after not featuring for a game for a long time shows that it's amazing to see. It's amazing to see his confidence. And even after that incident, for Ramsdale to come out and then hug Leno like that shows what sort of a character that we've got in Ramsdale. Seriously, I was in more praise for Leno for his abilities that day, but then even more for Ramsdale as well to come back and support his teammate, his direct rival, in the starting 11. To come back and do that is quite commendable.
There was a talk about I think Klopp, Arun, who mentioned that they have the second best or the best second choice keeper in the league. But I beg to differ. We have the best second choice keeper in the league is what I believe in Leno.
I would say we have the most professional second choice goalkeeper in the league.
Not
Someone who has
professional,
not
right? Like
more.
as in performance wise, I think Leno is up there with who else? Like Kepa would be another one who could be.
Kepa, Gallagher.
Who else?
Gallagher from Liverpool. That's Jason Gallagher.
That's what I'm saying. Kelleher is not above or on the same league as Leno, and just because he did that penalty shootout where they won, and he didn't save anything even in that.
No, it's mainly based on how he suits the team. Leno was fantastic because he was not given the task of starting attacks. There was not a lot of pressure put on him unless there were shots directly aimed at him, which were like from outside of the box. Otherwise, the defenders made an amazing job of like not putting any sort of pressure on him. They were never shot any short passes, and then we got to see a lot of Leno's long balls that go to the side, or the things that we missed. Not slating Leno. Leno's a fantastic shot stopper, but it stops there. That's the demands of the modern game have increased, which is sort of making other people think you start an attack, you're a better goalkeeper sort of a thing. Like how how there's the simple difference, like how Alba was not able to keep up with the modern demands of a modern striker in this league. He's able to do that in the other league.
Don't let the Aubameyang fan boss hit that. They're already claiming that he's doing so well in Barca. Look at Barcelona. They're Aubameyang's potential.
Yeah, someone was actually telling me, by the way that Auba is scoring there, what would happen if, like I said, and Nketiah goes there.
Nketiah would be a superstar in La Liga. They don't need any physicality. There's no speed. Nketiah would just keep calling people all the time. That's what would happen in the La Liga.
I wish Deepak was here.
Sorry guys, I think we drifted too far away from Leno there. I just wanted to add. I wanted to add a couple of points for Leno. In Leno's defense, for all that Klopp is talking about, in Leno's defense, he never really got any games. Arsenal were out of the cups early. They didn't really have much chance to actually shine elsewhere. So there wasn't any chance that Leno got to prove himself that he's good. We know that he was good. We know he was going to be a top goalkeeper. But just that he had little bit of hesitancy in him, and that's probably why we went in for a longer term option in number one with Ramsdale. Ramsdale is good. He's been playing much better than what people were writing him on at the start of the season. But then that can't actually undermine the fact that Leno is bad. Leno is good. We all know that he was neck to neck with Emi Martinez and all those sort of things, and we held on to him for a reason. So that's with him. And Leno, if you look at from the perspective of Leno himself would have actually found a lot of difference to the team that he first played at the start of the league to the team that he is playing now. He would have found that his job is made more easier with the defense and the setup that he had.
And the confidence that the people in front of him are playing with, it would add to his confidence as well. He would be happy. I don't think he's going to complain not seeing Mustafi or Socrates in front of him. So that makes a huge difference. He was really good in the game. He did what was asked of him. That's what I would say. I was not that was the main thing that I was worried about, the pressure that the opposition would put on him, knowing his weaknesses. But then he was impressive, and the rest of the team took care of him, which is what you want as a unit to do. So that was really good. Nothing against Leno. And he was really good. He was good.
We need to talk about, when you're talking about that part of pitch, right? We need to talk about the defense, Arun, right? This was one of those. Off late, I've been getting this feeling about Arsenal, right? 1-0 scoreline is enough for us to win a game. We don't. There are things that I would like us to score more goal, obviously, but still 1-0 Arsenal. For next 30 minutes, will we be able to hang on to it? My answer is 70% yes. 75%.
It's not really 30 minutes. It's actually only 12 to 15 minutes.
No,
because the remaining 12 to 15 minutes, we'll have the fifth man, the low block specialist, Holdini will be coming in. So at that point, it's impossible to score a goal.
I
You know,
was
you
going to
really-
mention that, man.
you really have to be a Liverpool or a City to score against us at that point. There's no scoring at that point.
And Holding
That's like-
comes in, yeah.
Yeah, that's like you shall not pass stage. You know, there's nothing going to happen after that. And we get to that stage. It's true though. Like, I mean, I don't remember the last time. I have never had this confidence of an Arsenal defense in all my years of watching Arsenal. I'll be very honest. Like, even when the time we had the Invincibles, I was not confident that we would be able to not concede goals. You know, not that I'm saying that this team is better than that team or this team like is defensively better, but as a unit, not just the defense, everyone else put together is contributing to the defense. And when we attack, we are attacking as a team. When we defend as a team. It's not the backline's task alone, or it's not the number 6 task alone. In that sense, we are more assured in what we do. There is no like passes that are done with a lot of panic. If you notice the way in which they clear stuff, the way in which they are recycling possession, not really like kicking the ball out of play. That's not something that we are doing anymore. There's no panic there. We know we can actually play out. That confidence that we wanted at the beginning of the season is what the players seem to be having now. Everything is coming back, translating into an attack. You know, that's where sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to add that, you know, if you guys try to guess, you know, the number of goals that we've conceded from a corner.
None.
And we are one of those teams who have been the least dribbled past.
Yeah.
So which just shows, like to Arun's point, you know, it just shows that what we've built on. You know, Arteta has actually worked his way up in terms of the way that he wants the team to be set up, and he's worked from defense to midfield to attack. He still is missing a few key players or personnel in certain areas at the top of the pitch, as we all know. But at least that he has actually set up a foundation for us to actually work upon for the next few seasons.
There was in this game, the stat was that Gabriel had 90+% of pass completion ratio, and White had 85+% of pass completion ratio. That used to be our midfield. Our midfield used to have that 85% plus 90% plus pass completion ratio.
Mohamed Al-Nani had a sideway passing to 100%.
Now our defense is doing that, and there was one.
It's reflective of the way in which we are playing, right? Like, you know, we start out from the back, the players are passing, they're finding the right people. They know that they have the right people at the right spots to pass to, and the team seems to be like, the more we do this, the more we drill this into the team, the easier it's going to get.
And these were not passes between the center backs. I mean, yes, some of it is, but it's also like forward passes. Like I remember that one pass which ESR chased down, which was a great pass to pick out from the back to the forward directly. So yeah, that, I mean, and then there is like Holdini, who comes in at like with 10 minutes to spare and holds on to whatever we can. Absolutely, you know, a brilliant defensive performance. But Bob, on top of that defensive performance is the midfield gem in Partey.
One can't escape talking about Arsenal without mentioning Thomas Partey.
You must be happy, you know, more than happy in that scenario.
For sure, Matt. For sure. See, he's always a jewel in the crown. And for the last season and a half, he has not been I mean, even matching his expectations. His easy expectations is just in dictating the whole game. He's not been doing so, in his honest opinions and regards. But the real Thomas Partey is back, and he's 2022. He's a different Damon. Seriously, right since the turn of the year, or towards even the end of the last year, he has come back from AFCON like completely a different player, completely galvanized. I'm just in awe of all the, you know, positive mentality which our players are taken, especially to do with Partey and Saka. For them having faced heartbreaks, mind you, Ghana was supposed to be one of those, potential title winners, and for them to come out of the group stage crashing, it's a big loss for them. And for captain of that team to come out from there, immediately joining the Arsenal squad, immediately getting a red card as well in the same game that he played, but having to come out of that setbacks and then put up performances that we all were raving for. Can't praise enough. Seriously, an amazing gameplay, and he dictated the whole thing. He was there right from the defense to the attack, and it was just free flowing, right? I could keep talking the whole day, but yeah, all in all, it was. You could even say, I mean, many of them have undoubtedly put him as the man of the match, and for me, he was the man of the match. Although he didn't get to score, he dictated the play, and he shut the shop for Villa not to actually or continue, or anyone. He didn't really give them any space or time on the ball. Whenever they came into attacks, and that was the sort of influence that you can see from Partey.
I think while we're talking about Partey, of course, Partey has been the Rolls Royce of midfielders. He's been amazing for us this season. He's growing with every game. The potential that we knew he had is being fulfilled. I think we should also mention a bit about Xhaka.
Actually, I was getting there to Xhaka just before you cut in, right?
Oh, sorry about that.
But regarding Xhaka, before
tell me, guys, who among you thought that he was going to get red carded?
I definitely thought he was going to get a card.
When the ref can actually, point out to 3 fouls within seconds and then give him a yellow card for the first foul that he committed, I had little doubt in my mind that he was going to be red carded, or we are going to be. I was almost sure that we were going to be down to 10 men. I mean, whether it's Saka or someone else, but
there is that meme that I'm gonna add on top of it, where if it's Xhaka, then you get an yellow card, right? That's the sort of meme, like flirting versus harassment.
Yeah.
That's the meme that I'm gonna add here. But Arun, Xhaka, of all the things that we talk about Xhaka, of all the limitations,
he's not known for restraint, is he? But he's showed a lot of restraint in the last 3-4 games. Even when he was pushed down, he didn't do anything. And on top of it, his game has been amazing. If you leave aside his obvious deficiencies, we can keep on talking about his lack of recovery pace or his lack of attacking prowess. But outside of that, the way in which he's holding that midfield is amazing. I read somewhere, it's true. The people that we were trying to replace Xhaka with, Ruben Neves, Douglas Luiz, and who else was it? Xhaka won the battle against each one of them. It was only when we came up against Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago that we were not able to create an impact. But outside of that, Xhaka has been fantastic. I think we should talk about give the credit when it's due, when he's doing well, the same way we slated him when he was being messy all over the pitch. I think he deserves a praise. That's what I feel.
True. And I think we have been giving him the praise for Xhaka. There is one more player that we need to talk. I think we would have to get to this point, Saka, because he's the goal creator. He's a spark. He's a star boy. But before we talk about the goal, right, and laugh at Emi Martinez this meme, because there was a meme that went with Emi Martinez saying, I didn't see the shot that Saka took, but until the last moment. But do you guys remember the time when Arsenal kept me on tenterhook in the last moment or something like that? So, but regarding Saka came out and said that and raised that concern that he's being targeted. And in this game especially, I mean, not just this game, we know how much he is being targeted. But after this game, I was thinking there needs to be something that needs to be done regarding this rotational fouling, right? Instead of it being always, how a player is okay, you made 3 fouls, so you get a card now. But if 3 players made the same foul on one single player, no one gets any any problems with that.
At a point in time, almost every foul that we were making were resulting in yellow cards.
Yeah.
And that was and I was just wondering, at least, I mean, during the course of the game, Matty Cash made about like 3 or 4 fouls. None of them really were, cardable offenses. And I was just thinking, what's happening with these referees here? Is it anything that we are really wrong? I mean, are we doing anything wrong that our fans think, it's quite natural that the same thing should be happening to the opposition as well? It took me to a conversation which made me more deluded. Am I being deluded as an Arsenal fan that I'm not seeing evenness here? And to be fair, yes, Saka was sort of, he was sort of being pushed, or he was sort of being thrown at things. But then of course, he's very young, and it's natural for him to come out and say that. And still, people were sort of criticizing on the social media and elsewhere of him complaining, because I noticed the interview as well with Stephen Gerrard, where he said, he's got a lot of hip operations done over the course of time, and one should just move on.
Yeah, just because he got screws in his hip doesn't mean that everyone else should be getting screws in it. I got really pissed when I saw that comment. He was a manager in Scotland. He was complaining about the same kind of tackles that were being made on his player.
Yeah,
it makes no sense to me. Like, why should moving on is a different thing. Like, you can destroy a player's career with an injury.
Yeah,
it's happened to us with Arsenal.
Arsenal has seen that a lot.
Exactly. Like
Jack Wilshere, Ramsey,
Diaby, Eduardo.
Yeah, sometimes I feel that, like, players from that generation, they think that, like, being macho is what, like, being a footballer is. Like, when I hear stuff that comes out of these guys, more than, like, yes, that was a different generation, different time. Now players are not as big as they used to be. Attackers are not huge. There's no, like, you hardly find attackers being as huge as they used to be. And when players are being taken out of the game with tackles like that, they need protection. They have to be protected. How can you as a manager say that it's fine, just move on, play on it? Or how can you as a pundit put the entertainment factor of the game above a player's actual career? Like, the way in which you're talking.
Yeah, so again, this is the hypocrisy against Arsenal.
Right? Very highly hypocritical. Yeah. It makes no sense to me.
I mean, I stand for the fact that even if one of our players try to foul the opposition, it's bad and it's wrong.
Yes.
Something which I agree upon. I'll put my heart out and say, if an Arsenal player does something like that,
that's bad. That's definitely bad.
Yeah. So just talking about the tackles and all those sort of things, what did you guys feel about the Mings tackle?
Mings tackle. Can you remind me which one that was?
Yeah, so he went for the ball. He got the ball, but then he had his studs on. I'm not sure who he had his studs on. Think it was Partey, I think. But it was a studs on challenge. It was not high on top, but at least he sort of brushed. But he got the ball cleanly.
Oh yes, okay. That was right around the same time as the Saka tackle, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. That's when, like Lacazette was pushed on the floor, and the dude who did that got away without anything.
Yeah. So I found that pretty similar to the Xhaka tackle earlier this season against City. I mean, albeit, it was Xhaka at the end of the day, so he got a red card. But then as the fact that, it was sort of higher. But then for Mings to not even concede an yellow, I felt it probably, I could keep talking about this all day, but then we just have to simply move on.
See, when it happens to other teams, there are terms called orange card. There are terms called soft yellow being used.
Yeah.
But when it happens to Arsenal, it's always the same. And then when we go ahead and win a game, when all the odds are stacked against us, and then we celebrate, we still get slack for celebrating a game against Aston Villa. Right? And then the manager would come out and say stuff like, hey, I got screws in my hips, and just get up and play, when he should have given some of those screws to, Ashley Young, who was being roasted by Saka all day long on that side of the pitch. So, it's just one of those games that ended happily, but during the game or after the game, the things that is surrounding the game, I didn't feel happy about any of those things, right? But at the end of the day, it's 3 points, so I'm happy in that regard.
We came out without injuries.
Guys, I just wanted to bring this question. I know we won. I know Saka scored that elusive goal. But what would have happened had Saka not scored? Because we were sort of, like I said, and the whole striker thing, it's trying, sort of misfiring, I felt. And this, I fear, in bigger games, when we are playing Chelsea, we play Tottenham and United as well. This could easily, and West Ham, of course, this could definitely come back and bite us sometime, right?
I'd like to
escaping away.
I know. I'd like to take a stab at that. I'll tell you what. Of course, it's having, like I said, as a striker and Eddie as a backup is a nightmare scenario that every Arsenal fan it's running in their heads right now. But the way in which I approach it, we have started creating more chances than we ever used to before. We are not stopping. There's no point in during a game that we say okay, these guys are going to start playing and they'll play for the first 15 minutes and then they'll keep quiet, or we won't do anything for the first 15 minutes and then we'll start attacking. As soon as we start, everything that we do is done with the intention of trying to score a goal. That's how we are playing. Until we let the other team come into the game, we dominate these games. And when we are dominating these games, if Saka hadn't scored a goal, we would have not taken the foot off the gas. We would have probably just kept creating more chances, hoping that one of them would go in. Even in the Wolves game, that's what we tried and did at the end, right? So we tried to keep creating chances. If not, like I said, Saka would take it. If not Saka, Martinelli can do it. If not Martinelli, Partey is there to take it. Not that these guys are going to score the goals, but these guys would get the opportunity to score the goals. Finishing is up to them at that point, which would be the same probability as what a Lacazette would have while taking a shot to score a goal. That he hasn't scored a goal is a different issue altogether. We know his limitations. We know that he doesn't have the pace to be at the end of these attacks. He does the intangibles. He does the part of being a false line or another defensive midfielder well. But the number of chances that we're creating and the gameplay, the motive of at the end of it, we want a product. We want something tangible at the end of what we're doing. There's purpose to every pass that we make. In that situation, in my head, I see okay, we don't do this now. We're definitely going to create another chance to score until we decide that we're not going to do that. We were doing that against Liverpool. We were doing that against City as well. Everything that we did had purpose. We were trying to push the ball forward. Unless we face a team that is intent on just getting 1 point, they don't want to leave their half at all. They're playing the lowest of the low blocks. I don't think we'll have trouble in creating chances. Scoring, yeah, it's up to the person who has the ball to score. But creating chances, the part before it, I don't think we are going to be having any issues. And that is the main reason why I am a bit more optimistic.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So anyways, guys, it's been amazing talking about this win and everything around, surrounding it. To have the group back, at least part of the group back, is amazing because I don't think we've had that in quite some time now. And
life gets in the way, I guess.
Yeah, for all the viewers, just comment in your thoughts on the striking situation, as Bob was asking about, what would happen if we don't get this one shot on target or one goal in. That's an interesting question, and Arun sort of answered it, but if you have different viewpoints, please do comment in and do like, share, and subscribe as always. And thanks for listening to us ramble on and sing and try to sing. So meet you guys before the next game. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.